What's up everyone, Kaze no What If is here with What If Luffy traveled back in time. Before we start, if you like the video, like it, share with your friends, comment, and let's start the video. He chuckled, "Yeah nah." She raised one of her eyebrows and shook her head. She was getting help, that was a good thing. Okay, they will come to this coast. The path leads to the village, and the rest of the island is surrounded by high cliffs. What are your guys' skills? Slicing, Zora claimed. Stealing, Nico beamed. His. Stretching. Eureka turned around, my skill is hiding. You've to fight too. Nico and Zora groaned. We will get to that later. Right now, we have to trap this slope. If we made some tripwires, they would get stuck, but I can't get anything from the village. And they won't sell to us now, Nico claimed. Not that they interrupted the villagers' riot earlier. I thought your skill was stealing. I steal only from pirates. What a skill. Is hiding any better? Point taken. Eureka gazed around the slope for another plan. We could borrow some barrels of oil, though. Oil the slope? What if one of us gets stuck? Our main objective is to protect the slope. We don't have to fight close combat if we trap them at the bottom. With this, we can stay hidden on the cliffs and attack from above. Nico repeated his question, what if one of us gets stuck in the oil? Eureka didn't give an answer. After borrowing some supplies from the villagers, and avoiding them, the three returned to the slope. Eureka and Nico lined the wires across the slope as Zora kept lookout. It wasn't long until the swordswoman was joining her captain in a nap. Their bodies lined up where the shore ended and the face of the cliff began. Even though this, Luffy's body did not move. Aim it higher, Eureka remarked as Nico was about to pin the stake in the cliff's rock face. Like this. He shifted it higher. Yeah. The stake was slammed in, and Eureka held her end. Here, do this one. Can't you do it yourself? Embarrassed, she looked at the cliff, away from Nico's gaze. You're the only one with a hammer. And the sharpshooter wasn't the greatest when it came to strength. Her plan failed as Nico swiftly threw the hammer inches away from her head. You almost hit me. Well, it didn't. The long nose muttered under her breath and took hold of the large hammer. She aimed for the stake, and as soon as she was about to pound Zoro! Nico shouted. Eureka dropped the hammer onto her toes. Ouch, she cried out in pain. Even though she got shot that same day, this was as painful. You are supposed to watch. Wake up, lazy bum. Nico pulled Zora's arms. Now awake, Zora's voice imitated them, what the hell do you want? We have been working while you're over here sleeping. You were supposed to be looking out. She opened half of her eyelids, there's nothing. We know that. He kicked her in the ribs, you're supposed to warn us. Pirates could come. That crazy butler could have already seen us. Yeah, whatever. She stood up and stretched her limbs. Well, come on, the sun's about to set. He pointed up to the entrance of the slope. It's already been that long, the dark-skinned sighed as she looked at the sun. It took them longer than they thought it would be to get those supplies from the village, and it was already bad enough it was an hour walk between the two places. We still have to oil the path, Nico remarked. They heaved 2 barrels of oil over here from the village, while Eureka grabbed the stakes, tats, and wires. The tats were already placed between the oils and the entrance of the path. If the wires didn't stop them, then they would have a harsh time getting to the entrance. Observing the path, Nico added, 2 barrels should be enough. Zora climbed to the top and heaved the barrel over. Eureka and Nico did the same with the other one. She sliced the lid off it, and oil began drooling out from the hole. It poured on the dirt and slowly flowed down the path. The other two were still having a problem with the lid, in which Zora helped by slicing that off as well. The blade was inches away from Eureka's fingers. "You manic. My fingers were right there. Can't you be more careful?" "I was only helping," Zora snorted at them. The black liquid reached down to the ground, and the two barrels were quickly becoming empty. The slime finally reached the tats, and they moved the barrels to the side so that it covered all of the path. And soon all of the oil spilled out. 40 minutes after they tossed the barrels to the side, the oil began evening out. Eureka helped the process by shifting the oil with a branch she picked up, as did Zora. All of this brought a huge smile to Eureka's face. "This is perfect. They can't climb up this slope now because of the oil. On the other hand, there's a chance we can still slip on this," Nico added. "There's no way this can't work." Something wasn't right, Zora knew quickly. She looked around and it wasn't here. "Isn't Luffy still down there?" WH-. The navigator fell to the ground. "How are we supposed to get him?" "You were supposed to watch him." Nico blamed the green-haired. "I was supposed to watch for dangers, not him," she corrected. "He's asleep. There's no way he can protect himself. And he'll be stuck down there with the pirates." "Looks like I've to do everything myself," Nico muttered. "I will be right back with some ropes. Keep an eye out for any dangers and don't slip on the oil." As soon as he was gone, Eureka did exactly that. She backed up to beam at their awesome teamwork, right into the oil. She reached out, trying to grab onto something to halt her fall, but it hit the edge of Zora's shirt, which quickly slipped from her fingers. "AHH, she yelped. Her legs skidded in the oil, and she tripped over. "Here," Zora took her sword's case and stretched her arm out. "Grab on," she ordered. Eureka pushed her knee forward to reach the sword case, but she only caused herself to slide farther back down the slope. And she went. "It's been a nice time knowing you," she grinned at the swordswoman. "Remember the great Captain Eureka?" Her bottom skidded down. It zapped across the sandy shore and away from the docked fishing boats. And she even reached the ocean. Her clothes were drenched with sea water. It soaked through her overalls, shirt, and she chilled from the coldness on her skin. "So this is how I'll die," she floated in the ocean water. Her thoughts drifted from one thing to the other. "Filthy blood, your bloodline that you enjoy lying and using violence to settle everything. Scum. A girl for a pirate? I would think you could make better lies. Ha ha ha. Why can't you be trustworthy like Karahatal?" She grunted and slapped the water surface. And it ruined her balance, and she fell to the bottom of the shore. The water drenched her curly locks and her brown cap floated away. She grabbed onto it and placed it back on her soaked head. Sand and oil started coming off her body and mingled with the water. She stayed until her skin shriveled up, but she was now clean of the filth. Something like this wasn't going to stop her. She was going to save this village no matter what. She may be weak, a liar, but she was a pirate's daughter even if her father wasn't around. She was going to show them. "Is something wrong with her?" Zora uttered from the entrance. Her shirt was slipping and the bandages were showing. Eureka trotted back to the beach and called out, "Captain Eureka." "Definitely," Zora answered her own question. The sharpshooter glanced back to the swordswoman. "Eh? Zora, your shirt." She looked down, and indeed the bandages were showing. She pulled her shirt back up and glared at the girl, Don't say anything about it. B. What happened? She asked curiously. Then she remembered earlier when the swordsman handed her bandages for her graze. Is that why he had bandages? Nothing, she plainly answered. You're heedy dash. Eureka! You idiot! Nico shouted as he raced into the clearing. I told you not to slip down. Idiot! Now two of you are stuck down there. You are so lucky I found this in the woods. It would have been 2 hours until either one of you got any help. And you should have prevented this. Dumbass, Zara cursed back, I'm not responsible for what these two do. Nico glared at the green-haired and trotted down the cliff. Guess I have to do everything, he mumbled under his breath. He unrolled the rope down and Eureka tried picking up Luffy. After the second try, the two of them grabbed onto the rope. Zara pulled on the end, and the two slowly came up the cliff. Eureka grabbed onto the edge and Nico pulled Luffy from her hands. Okay. No more going down that hill, okay. They all agreed. May 17th. Luffy opened his eyes and he yawned. In return, he got smacked by the navigator. What was that for? He groaned as he rubbed his head. That was the worst way to wake up. For sleeping all day. We had to do all of the work. Nico was pissed. He thought Zoro was a lazy slacker, but his captain took the whole day off when danger was afoot. All day? It felt like an hour, he snickered. Oh yeah, this again. He looked down the slope and smiled. Is this the right one? What do you mean right? I thought there were two slopes. Nico turned and gazed at the sharpshooter. Is this the right one? He repeated the question. Eureka itched her head. Well, it's the one they were talking at ANITH thought they would come here. If they don't I'm going to kill you. She gulped. Luffy chuckled. It was the right one and Nico was heartbroken. Their boats were also docked down there with all of his treasures. Not only did they forget Luffy down there, but they also forgot their ships. It was bad enough when Eureka offered his treasures. If you don't attack this village, you can have all of those treasures. Why not both? One of the pirates smirked. Eureka gulped and Nico was pissed. If you even dare to think of touching that, I will kill you. All of us, another one questioned. Luffy, irritated by now, jumped past the oil spill and started swinging. If I don't, he will, Nico smirked back. The two pirates who were smirking before, were now cursing as Luffy's fists punched past. Zoro followed her pirate's lead and jumped down past the tats. Is he really that strong? Eureka glazed from the cliff's height. Yeah. Luffy answered plainly. There was a plan though. It's them. They do whatever they want, Nico groaned with the weak girl. Quickly the pirates were taken care of, and only their captain stood. He smirked as he pulled out his rings. Look at this ring. When I say 1-2 Django, you will become stronger. Luffy watched as the ring swung from one side to the other. All of your wounds will be cured, and you will get stronger and stronger. Being hypnotized to get stronger, this is crazy. Nico claimed. 1. TW-. Zora's sword raced through the air and the ring broke. Ojan-Django's ring dropped to the ground. What? It's broken. Captain Kuros will kill us. Eh? What happened? Luffy shook his head. He, like the others of Kuro's crew, were in a trance. Eureka used this chance and targeted the pirates and launched attacks. You were about to get hypnotized, Zora calmly stated, so I stopped it. She tied her bandana around her forehead and smirked. "Oh. Thanks," he snickered and punched Django onto the ground. "Heh. Don't worry. I always carry a backup." He pulled out another ring from his jacket. 1. 2. Django. The ring dropped to the ground. Not again. Zora slashed this ring as well, but she was a moment too late. The crew, as well as Luffy, was hypnotized. Django snickered, "Attack." Archers aimed for the cliff and launched their arrows at the two. Eureka dodged, but one was able to slash her cheek. She was hit, and fell down the cliff, to the bottom of the slope. They started to turn and face her with their weapons in hand. She gulped and her slingshot shook. She swooped low to the ground and grabbed a handful of rocks to fill the pocket, but she ended up dropping them all but small petals. Gum gum Gatling gun. Luffy's arm swung and knocked the pirates back down to their asses. None of them tried getting back up, not when they were injured once more. Their wounds became uncured, and they felt double the pain. Luffy's hypnotized state also vanished. There was no more ring controlling them, so the power lasted only a few seconds. Wait, did he just get hypnotized as well? Nico questioned. Eureka sighed, she was saved by Luffy's unnatural power. She looked up the slope, and there was no way for her to climb it at this point. The tats and wires were broken from the pirates trying to get up it, but the oil stayed and it spread farther down. He finished them all off, Zora stated. "You brats. You ruined our plan. Now if Captain Kuro heard about this, he will have all of our heads." Django clicked his chin. Even though this was his last resort, it was a must. "Nyaban brothers. Get down here. There's others on the ship," she questioned with a bloodthirst. "Our last resort," Django tilted his hat, "other than Captain Kuro, himself." "Hey. Everyone's been beaten up," a voice called from the top of the ship. "We don't have to hide anymore. Shall we go?" "Let's go." They jumped down from the ship and landed on the shore. "Did you call us, Captain?" one of them asked. "Did you see them jump?" Eureka gasped. Django pointed at the swordswoman, "Captain, and those two on the cliffs. Can you take care of them?" The two began to bicker between themselves, which left Eureka and Nico unpleased. Weren't they the secret weapons? "We are only the ship protectors," the skinny one shrugged. After Django gave the order again, the two finally agreed and looked at their enemies, and the skinny one aimed for Zora. "They sent that weakling to defeat me," she grumbled. "If you come any closer, I will cut you to pieces." "Do it." The man in the catsuit disappeared and vanished before Zora. His cat claws clashed with Zora's swords. Their blades met until the Catman jumped away with two of Zora's swords. "You were underestimating a member of the Kuro's pirates. Is something wrong? Missing?" "He took my swords." Zora's eyes widened. Luffy watched. Did something like this really happen before? Before he knew it, the only cat member trotted over to him. The two had a small fight with Luffy towering over him. "He is weak," Luffy mumbled with distaste. He was frowning until something smacked him from behind. Zora's two swords. "Shall begin," the Catman taunted. "You should take care of other people's swords." Zora thrust her last sword at the Catman. She raced past him to get to her other swords, but the man wasn't done yet. He jumped up into the air and pounced on her shoulders. She fell down to the ground with him weighing on top. "Yo! Zoro! Here," Luffy threw back her swords. "Thanks." She grabbed them and once again slashed at the man on top of her. He dodged it by jumping up, and she quickly stood up. Cat claws technique. He raced forward and his claws scattered across Zora's body. Maybe if I aimed, Eureka loaded her slingshot and aimed for the cat man. The rock launched, but inside of hitting the pirate, it was cut in half by Zora's sword. What? She gasped. You were about to hit him, Nico claimed. The two of them were above, shooting at the pirates who tried getting up once again. Idiot. You want to die? Zora questioned the sharpshooter. Even with the sword in her mouth, her words echoed through the slope. Maybe he's protecting us, the navigator reasoned. Maybe if you attacked, they would aim for you instead. Kuro stepped from the entrance of the slope. It has passed dawn, but my plan isn't in process. What the hell are you doing? Finally. I have been waiting for you. Luffy grinned. His fist grew into massive sizes. He can do that. Kuro completely ignored the Straw Hat captain. Don't tell me these brats have stopped you. Are the Kuro pirates a bunch of weaklings like this? Say something, Django. You said that kid wouldn't affect our plans, didn't you? Yes, I told you that. So what? Is it that you are weaker than I thought? I don't want to hear any more excuses. Buji clutched his claws and glared at his former captain. Did you just call us weak? Buji. Stop. Django ordered, but his voice wasn't heard by the cat. You shouldn't turn away from an opponent, Zora halted his path. Kuro smirked and in moments, Buji's clothes were in pieces. Did you just question me? Long black claws reached under Buji's chin. Black cat's claws, one of Kuro's pirates called out. The former captain was able to speed past the oil spill and appear behind one of the cat brothers. Captain Kuro, the plans can't go through, Django called out. What do you mean? Kuro glanced back. This plan has been set for 3 years. Django held up his broken rings. It looks like you have no use to me anymore, Kuro shook his head, you all are weaker. Gum gum no pistol. Kuro's glasses fell off onto the ground. His jaw was punched and only left a scratch. Weren't you dead, pirate? I'm tired of listening to you, Luffy booed. Go Luffy. Nico cheered. You should have just stayed dead. Kuro used his special technique and vanished. He appeared several more times and attacked at random. He was directionless for his heightened speed. Luffy, knowing well of this attack, stayed still until he came close. Gum gum no rifle. The attack was short distance, and aimed right. Kuro backed away as blood started running down from a scratch on his cheek. Gum gum no Gatling. Kalahari. Kaya yelled from the entrance. Tears ran down her face as she watched. Stop everything. Luffy finished his attack, and Kuro stood. Kaya. What are you doing here? Eureka yelped. Isn't that the girl from the mansion? The goal of this plan? Django questioned. He snickered, maybe without his rings, he can still kill this girl. Maybe this plan wasn't ruined totally. What a surprise, Ms. Kaya, how can you come here? Mary, he told me everything. So, he's still alive. I thought I already finished him off. Her pupils widened as she looked at her butler. This man that she knew for 3 years. No, this wasn't the man she knew. I'm sorry, Yurikachan. Anyway, you won't forgive me. I did not believe you when you said Kalahari was a pirate. Don't worry about that. Why did you come? I told you to get away. Don't you realize their goal is to kill you? But you are fighting. We treated you badly, and you are still fighting for us. I told you that I'm the bravest warrior of the sea. Kala Hattori. If you want my treasures, you can have it if you leave this village. Kuro shook his head. You misunderstood. I want your money, but I also want a peaceful life. He thought of them and grinned. The villagers trusted me for 3 years, and it became a part of my peaceful life. My plan will succeed when I acquire both peace and your treasure. Kaya gasped. So the accident about pirates, and your will are the most important things in my plan. You can't change his mind. Run. He isn't the caretaker you knew. Eureka yelled out. Kaya pulled out a gun. The same one that shoots Mary and Eureka. Even though she believed words were stronger than violence, Kuro wasn't one to listen, so she had to resort to violence. Leave this village. I have spent these last 3 years doing stupid things to care for a sick child of landowners. And I have been very patient. Everything I've done is for you, today. The day that I'll kill you. Eureka jumped out and smacked her fist against Kuro's face. He barely winced. Eureka, I still have business to do with you. You did hit me twice. Luffy's arm stretched and smacked Kuro's other cheek. His arm retracted. If you don't like to be hit, then I'll hit you another 100 times. Kuro slowly got up and walked to Eureka's body. His eyes narrowed as a projectile got caught between his claws. With a swift kick, Eureka was hurled into the slope and the oil. Luffy quickly attacked. His arm strengthened and pounced on Kuro's stomach. You shouldn't turn your back. A devil fruit, I believe. I'm a rubberman. Eureka gripped the cliff's rocky side and pulled herself up. Kaya. Run. Kaya only shook in place. The gun was dropped to the ground. Nico grabbed Kaya from behind. We have to go. Django. Kill her. Kuro ordered. Now. Nico and Kaya started running. Zora stood in Django's path. Not until you get past me. Django reached into his jacket for his rings, but found none. That cursed swordswoman slashed all of his. He grunted and had to use his backup discs. They were cold hard metal without any holes. It was only for throwing. Within moments, the two gangs fought, and the Straw Hats won. Eureka started to tear up. Why you guys? She wiped away a tear. Luffy picked both of them up and threw them across the island. Zoro laid down, in the oil, and napped. While Luffy stretched to the top, and helped them both out. I can't thank you enough. You saved my village. Yet I don't have anything to offer you. Join our crew. She couldn't help it. Tears were flowing out of her eyes as she grabbed onto him. Yes. Mary. Luffy raced up to the huge ship. I missed you. Missed, the others questioned. Mary, the other servant, only grinned. It was a fast fix-up, but it looks like you are fond of this ship. I call this the Going Merry. Well, I think you already knew. Zora narrowed her eyes. What about your ship? Usopp has it? Was this Eureka supposed to be Usopp? And how did he know the ship's name? The three boys watched from afar. I'm becoming a pirate. This is the end of the Eureka's pirates. Her voice clouded their thoughts. Kaya already told them the truth. While they were searching for their captain, she was saving the village. Keep this a secret. Will you promise me that? And that's when Eureka came. She was racing down the slope with a full bag. She had so many items stored in that old house, all that she wanted to take with her. And a very special thing hung onto her backpack, a very special oak. Her foot tripped, and she rolled. Somebody! Stop me! Zora and Luffy raised their legs as soon as Eureka's face came into contact with their shoes. You're welcome, they both stated. Eureka-chan? You are also leaving? Kaya questioned. She's my crew member. Luffy chuckled. I'm going to be captain. Eureka claimed. Captain of what? I won't stop you, Eureka-chan, but everyone will miss you, including me. I know, but they don't know of the great deeds you have done. They will soon. I'll come back and tell you and everyone of my real greatest adventures. I'll wait for you, she grinned. Zora and the others climbed on the ship as Eureka said her goodbyes. Shut up and get on this ship already, Zora stated. Eureka grinned. This was her first step as a pirate. Everyone will hear Captain Eureka. Don't be stupid. I'm the captain. Luffy uttered. Her bag was thrown on the ship and she climbed up. Zora raised the anchor, and the ship started to drift. She waved to her best friend until they couldn't see each other anymore. Here's the sake, the green-haired called out. She carried it onto the deck and all of them surrounded it. Nico poured the sake into cups and they all grabbed one. They lifted their cups to their lips and cheered. To a new ship and a new member. Hooray! I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, subscribe to my channel for more fan fictions like this, and goodbye.